If you're having trouble hearing, there's no reason to have to deal with it anymore. It can cost you money if you're a salesman if you don't hear it right. Somebody may want a product and you may talk them out of it because you didn't hear them right. I think it can really cost a person their job. I think it can cost them sales. I think it can cost a lot to not hear what's out there. Very important for every business person. It's very important for every guy that works in a shop around loud noises and has dealt with that for 30 years to be able to hear his grandkids, to be able to hear his wife, to be able to engage in conversation, to be able to carry on a conversation where you weren't before, changes the whole dynamic of your social life. It actually changes their personality. I have had a hearing loss for a long time. Probably 20 years ago already, I did go to an audiologist, and the audiologist said, yes, you indeed do have hearing loss, and it is in the same range where your wife speaks, which I understand is not abnormal, especially for someone who has worked in a factory setting. I'm in a different occupation now. I'm in a ministry for a nonprofit. And that set me in a location where I was working in a cubicle along with 3 or 4 other people. If there was someone who was specifically speaking to me, I would find that I couldn't concentrate, couldn't actually hear what they were saying because of the other conversation in the room. I said, hey, is this normal? Can other people do this? Because I can't. Everybody else shut up, and then I can talk to this guy. But that's not socially appropriate, obviously. So I thought, maybe I should get my hearing checked. Karen and Craig are great people. They're personable people. They'll take the time that's necessary. They'll take the time that you need to actually work it out. Once you're fitted with hearing aids, you actually spend some time fine-tuning these things. They're not just amplifiers for your ears. They are an instrument which allows you to, it's targeted at your area of hearing loss. That's how they fine-tune it. It's got all those different ranges. You need a little more volume in one area than another. Boom shakalaka. It works. I remember a particular time after I got my new hearing aids, and I don't think of them as hearing aids, you can barely see them. I think of hearing aids as the great big things that stick on the side of people's heads and are so obvious. These, you can't tell they're there. But anyway, I remember going out to my front porch where I typically grill hamburgers or whatever I put on the grill, a steak, and standing there and grilling the steak, and I could hear the sizzle, of course, but what was really interesting was a group of children rode by on their bicycles, and one of them had those funky little bells that go on the handlebars. I had not heard that, and we're talking about 50 yards away. I heard a little girl ring her bell. I have people come up to me and they look at me who know me, and they look at me and they go, you haven't got your hearing aids in today, have you? And I go, yeah, see, they're right here. See that? Isn't that awesome? And they go, I couldn't tell. And they were looking right at my ear and even into my ear. They couldn't tell. I think that is the biggest problem for people not getting hearing aids, is that they don't want to be known as a person who has hearing loss. If you've got hearing loss, deal with it. If you had eyeglass or if you had vision problems, you put on the glasses. But the high notes are the things that I had lost. And I can hear my grandkids. Sometimes I don't want to hear them if they scream, but when they're playing or when they're playing with me, it's an awesome thing. If you're struggling at work, hearing the boss, hearing your secretary, hearing the people that you need to talk to in a loud, crowded room, you can get that fixed today. I did. My name is Charles Van Journen, and I had my hearing loss eradicated at Van Doorne Hearing Clinic. Okay.
All right, so
I'm quite sure that I wasn't a good deer hunter, and one of the reasons was because I didn't know how noisy it was.
you scared away all the deer.
Yeah, I didn't know that I was making noise. I mean, you can't chew gum in the woods. Especially if you snap it.
So